So we have to talk. This is an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I can 110% tell you right now that it has problems. Now, there's a reason I don't really push out reviews so quickly. There's a reason why you'll see me take weeks and weeks and weeks to push out the review, because a lot of times I want to spend as much time with the device as I physically can. Either A, I don't have it in hand yet, or B, I actually am really running it through its tests. When I get a phone, it's typically a phone that I'm going to use as a daily driver, and I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with said term, but as a daily driver, to me, that's you're going to sleep with it, you wake up next to it, you're using it all day, every day. This is your only phone, your daily driver. So I like to spend a significant amount of time with the device because a lot of issues you don't see day one. A lot of issues you start to see later on, and I mean, is for that exact reason. Like I just said, when I first got this device, flawless, no problems, camera performance was great, battery life was immaculate, it didn't heat up, it was smooth, I didn't have any crashes, etc, etc. Straight up mwah. But 3 or 4 weeks later now, I'm starting to run into issues that I feel like for the device's price point, which is $1,100 for the base 128 gig model, you quite frankly shouldn't be having. So I'm just gonna jump right into it here, but the first big major problem that I'm actually having is with the camera system itself, and it's mainly the regular lens. So if it's dusk or a little bit dark outside, sometimes what I've noticed, if I've gone to answer a Snapchat or I've actually gone to use the camera, you actually have these green lines that like to pop up over the top of the camera feed, and they actually, it's not just on the screen, these actually persist in all your pictures and your Snapchats and things like that, which can be very frustrating because it doesn't go away. You literally have to completely reset your phone, but not reset, bro. You have to completely restart your phone in order for it to go away, which is a major inconvenience considering the fact that if you are a photographer, and not that photographers use their phones, but a lot of us, you know, if it's not something that is going to be that serious and you just think it's a cool shot, you'll pull out your smartphone because the cameras are more than good enough. You will miss your shot 9 times out of 10 if you have to stop in the middle of what you're doing and completely just, you know, restart your phone. Now, granted, it restarts really quick, but that's still not the point. A problem like this shouldn't really exist on a phone that, again, costs $1,100 plus tax for the base model. I don't. And let me get this, let me classify this here. I love Apple products. I love the iPhone. I've used the iPhone for the past 5 years now. I've upgraded every single year, and this isn't something that I've actually dealt with on any model iPhone that I've had. So I don't know if I'm going to say it's software that's causing this issue, because originally that's what I thought it was. So that's why I actually waited to record this video, because I figured after doing some research, I saw multiple people actually had this issue with their iPhone 12 Pro Maxes, and maybe Apple would eventually go through with pushing out a software update that would address this issue, etc, etc. And that's what happened. Apple sent out the latest iOS update. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but they pushed out another one, and I figured, hey, maybe the problem's gone, so I continued my normal usage. I didn't see it for a few days, then boom, it shows up again. And again, it's at a time where I'm focusing, I'm trying to get the camera correct, and then the shot's ruined because there's green lines going from the entire top of the camera feed that literally persist in all of your photos. So that's just annoying, and I'm not sure if it's the censorship image stabilization that's causing this issue, because that is something new on the iPhone, and typically when Apple experiments, it's usually always with the max variant or the plus variant of their phones. That's where they usually put the bigger batteries, bigger cameras, and they try all this stuff out. So I can't help but think it's really that. And if I do go to replace the said phone, is the next phone gonna just have the same issue? So just off that point, it just makes me like, if I could return this, I probably would, if I could go back to my 11 Pro Max, I probably would, because A, the cameras are great, B, I didn't have any of the same issues that I was having on the 12 Pro Max when it comes to taking photos, and C, I don't know, I just didn't necessarily need to upgrade, but it was just something that presented itself at the time, so I went for it. The next issue that I've been having with this device is when it's time to restart the device. Like, let's say I'm having an issue with the cameras like I just explained, and I do the volume up, volume down, hold the power button, hold it until it completely goes black, and then it's supposed to restart. That's how you hard restart a iPhone without a home button, right? The phone completely crashes. Like, I go to boot it back up, and it crashes. Then I have to hold the button. It doesn't want to start back up. Then it finally decides to just turn back on. The Apple logo pops up, and it just acts weird for about like 5 minutes. Like, it's slow, it's laggy, it's just giving me a bunch of issues that, again, for a $1,000 phone, $1,000+ phone, you should not be having. Now, again, I'm thinking, hey, maybe this is a software issue. This is something that they'll fix in the next iOS update. No, it still persists. So, out of frustration at this point, I don't know if anybody else is having the exact same issues with their 12 Pro Max. If you are, please leave a comment down below. Let's discuss, let's find out what's going on. Maybe we can, get Apple's attention on this, because they clearly either don't know, or they're working on something and just haven't released any type of statement about anything, or maybe it's not even a widespread issue enough for them to even care. But it is a major inconvenience for me, as someone that the main reason for upgrading to this phone was for the cameras. And let's just face it, iPhones have amazing user interface. The experience is amazing. So anything that hinders that experience from where it was previously is annoying, and it makes you look at the iPhone a little different. And a lot of you will sit here and say, hey, well, why don't you go switch to Android? There are 50 billion other Android phones out there that will give you the exact same user interface experience, where everything's smooth and everything loads up quickly, and then Androids have great cameras too. You're not wrong. I would 110% switch back to an Android if I was not already in the Apple ecosystem. And MKBHD actually posted a really good video about the Apple ecosystem, and I'll link that. I always do this here. I'll link that here. And he talks about how basically you really get wrapped into Apple products. So me personally, I own an Apple Watch, a Series 6. I own 2 HomePod Minis. I own AirPod Pros. I own a MacBook Pro. I own an iPad Pro. There's a lot of things that tie into owning one of these. The convenience to being able to record something right off my iPhone and then airdrop it right to my MacBook to edit it's insane. That's something I can't necessarily do with other devices. So at the time, it's kind of like you get stuck here. You spend all this money on all the accessories and products that are designed to work together, and once the main piece goes missing, you start to run into problems with all those other devices. Like with my HomePods, if I was to switch to Android, will my HomePods even still work? Do they send the commands through your iPhone? How does this work? I really think if I was to switch to Android, that those $100 HomePods that, hey, at this point I cannot return, they'd be useless. So all I want is for Apple to 110% see the issue and push out an update, because I guarantee you I am not the only person having these issues with their iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I'm not the only person that's annoyed by it. I haven't seen too many videos about it, but just in general, I think they really need to push out some type of update to fix this, because that's annoying. And if I had known that this was going to be such an issue 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have waited. Maybe I would have gotten an iPhone 13. Maybe I would have stayed with my iPhone 11 Pro Max, because quite frankly, it was fine. So, like I said down below, well, not down below, but like I said before, leave me a comment down below. Do you own an iPhone 12 Pro Max? Do you have any of these issues? What's going on? Let's talk about it down below. Do you know anybody else that is having these issues? Because like I said, we really got to get to the bottom of this.